Now I officially have 4 different editions of the last 9 Optimus Prime design, and they are all pretty good for their own reason. In my last video, I tried buying Transformer figures directly from Japan using a platform called JPfans, and honestly, I wasn't sure how this was going to turn out. But now, the figure is finally here, and the process was actually pretty interesting. Once the figures arrived at the JPfans warehouse, they sent me some inspection photos for each of the item that I ordered. So here you can see the photos for my 2 figures. So you can see exactly what condition everything was in before they get shipped. They also show how the final package was put together, which is something you normally never get to see when ordering internationally. So by the time it's shipped out, I already knew exactly what I was going to get. After paying the international shipping, everything was sent out, and I'm actually pretty happy to say that everything arrived safely in one piece. Now I do want to mention this for full transparency. The price you see when you first buy the figures is not the final price. You still need to pay JPfans service fee and the international shipping cost before the items are delivered. But even with that, some figures can still end up being cheaper than buying them overseas through hardcore release or through other retailers. Definitely when it comes to these exclusive items or figures that are harder to find. Also, you can register using my link in the bio to get a coupon and alleviate the shipping costs. And these are the 2 figures I ended up going with. Both of them are the last 9 Optimus Prime, which was actually intentional. Because even now, there still isn't a perfect the last 9 Optimus Prime in this scale. But these 2 might actually come really close, just in completely different ways. First, we have Bingo Spot, exclusive the last 9 Optimus Prime. This figure is essentially a reworked version of the 33 The Last 9 Crosshair mold. This is the figures that I'm most excited for in this package between the 2. And simply because, as I mentioned before, this is an exclusive figure that is pretty hard to get my hands on at a fair price. We finally have our main figures over here for Bingo Sport. So in this box over here, there's nothing else. Basically just the main figures inside the packaging. So the main figures is here packaged deluxe size 33 Optimus Prime with the 2 plaster exactly the same as the last 9 Crosshair. 1 extra plaster does come with this Bingo Sport, which can be attached to this car fence. Look at this guy, he's definitely look too ray. He have too much ray plastic covering all over. All of the paint budgets really go to the vehicle part. Even when he's not in vehicle mode right now, you can see that the paint looks fantastic on the car mode. But yeah, definitely even from the back, you can see that too much ray plastic going on right here. And the front too, too much ray plastic. But you know, I'm a customizer myself, so I paint this guy up later.
A few moments later.
Here is the repainted version of my Bingo Sport, the last 9 Optimus Prime, and I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. So you can see that right away, this sword actually comes from the custom Voyager class, the last 9 Optimus Prime that I also bought from them. And I painted that sword up, and I think it's matched perfectly with this tiny Bingo Sport, the last 9 Optimus Prime. That sword is a little small for the Voyager version, but it's nearly perfect for this deluxe version. It's just long enough, and I think it's the perfect length. Just as a comparison, here is the original 33, the last 9 Crosshair. You can see that the mold basically stay the same, and I absolutely love how Optimus Prime look. I just think it's look really nice with the cape design that Crosshair has. Those flapping pieces in red colors with the flame effect just look absolutely gorgeous. You can see how different and similar those 2 looks next to one another. For those 2, you can see that's the huge size difference right there. But those 2 are the same characters. I know that this guy is definitely not as accurate. A lot of more detail of this guy basically is just the Crosshair version, so it's nowhere near as being accurate. For example, for the feet over here, for the cape region, definitely not accurate either. Doesn't have any of these details. It have a little bit of that, but nowhere near being fully accurate. And the back too. But this guy definitely had his own charm for this design. I really like the stylized version of Optimus Prime with the cape. What stands out is the overall proportion and size. The proportion is exactly like 33 Crosshair, and the size too. It's noticeably smaller compared to most Voyager scale Optimus Prime figures even in modern day. But that actually works in my favor because I'm looking for an Optimus Prime that can scale better with the upcoming Titan Class 33 reblock or the existing oversized KO figures. So if you care about scale accuracy, especially for display setup, this could be one of the better options out there. Even better than the modern 33 series a little bit. And this is where it gets really interesting. This size could actually scale extremely well with the upcoming 33 Titan Class reblock, and even some oversized third-party reblock figures currently on the market. So for anyone planning on a Dinobot display, this might actually be a really smart choice. So, I think this guy is actually a wonderful figure, especially when considering that it's an exclusive figure, so it's always nice to have something that is both rare and unique. And for those two guns, whenever I don't use them, we can just tap the gun directly onto the cave and just hide them behind the cave. And I think this just makes it the perfect weapon storage and it looks badass. Now on the other side, we have something completely different. This is a custom painted The Last Night Voyager Optimus Prime based on the 2007 Voyager mode. Let's go over this The Last Night Optimus Prime. This guy is the old mode that you guys already familiar with. But the special thing about this figure is that he's custom painted and you may not find that too often online. So I'm really happy that I can find one copy of the original version indicated by one of the official logo for the Autobots on here. Got custom painted this nicely that's come directly from a fan from Japan. I just love unique figures. Even when it's used, it doesn't matter if it actually looks better than the original version. Especially when I think that this custom is really good. The person this painted him really nicely. Even though I know how to custom paint figures myself, but I also appreciate the work of all the fans who clearly love their figures and put so much effort into making them look good. Of course, the main reason is that I haven't had this mold yet, so it's still good to actually have this mold in my collection. I still think that the new 33 Extinction mold or the 33 Nemesis Prime mold is the superior version. This guy, now that I have both of them in hand, I can tell that this guy is way heftier. It's just way heavier. Because of the many parts that he has, this guy is really light, even though he's technically a little taller than the leader class version. This guy definitely deserves to be a leader class. It's just way too heavy in comparison to the Voyager class in 2017. Look at this. Initially, yes, this was the main concern that most fans initially have with this new 33 mold. But this guy does not stay anywhere. I don't know, I just can't lock it anywhere, so it's really floppy, and you can see that down here, all of the legs have such huge keyboard. So I do think that the new version is an improvement. But of course, that doesn't take away this guy advantage, especially when he came out in 2017. This is such a good figure for this time, with really good articulation in almost everywhere except for the legs, and of course no ankle pivot over here. And honestly, this one is all about presence and details. The paintwork really brings out so much more of that nice design, and it makes the figures feel significantly more premium. That's exactly why I buy this custom painted version. But the biggest highlight here is easily the truck mode. I still think that the Voyager class from 2017 have a really good truck mode. So what's interesting is that these two figures don't really compete with each other. They actually solve two completely different problems even when they represent the same design. The Bingo Sport version gives you the better scale and cleaner proportion. Better scale with the bigger Dinobot, while the custom Voyagers give you better presence and a much stronger vehicle mode. With these two added, I now have 4 different 9 Optimus Prime figures in this scale. And honestly, it really shows how close we are to getting a definitive version. If you guys want to see a detailed comparison between all of my Extinction and the last 9 Optimus Prime figures, let me know in the comment. If you're into movie accurate Transformers and scaling like this, make sure you subscribe.